Part 1. 100 years ago, two sharks named Steve and Albert were talking and swimming. However, they weren't paying attention, so they swam into a big and scary cave and kept on swimming. So they quickly asked each other if they wanted to race, and they both said, "Yeah, sure." And so they did. At one point, they got so tired that Steve stopped and said, Albert, do you know where we are?" "No, do you?" said Albert. "I think we're in an endless cave," said Steve. A few minutes later, they didn't know what to do, so they decided to find some food. When they finished their food, they went back, but for some reason, it was different. So Steve said, "Albert, I remember the location, but it did not look like this." "I agree," said Albert. "I'm going to swim and take a look around," said Albert. "Okay, I'll come too," said Steve. They eventually got tired and they decided to take a nap. Then they realized when the next day when they opened their eyes, they realized that every time they took naps, the cave changed. The colors and the texture of the rocks and the sand would change. After they saw enough of the weird and scary rocks, they stopped touching rocks. "Steve, we need to stop messing around and stop touching the rocks," said Albert. "Okay, sorry," said Steve. "It's okay," said Albert. "I think we're lost," said Steve. "All we have to do is find another way out," said Albert. "But how?" said Steve. After hours and hours of looking for an exit, they finally found 3 tunnels. "One of these tunnels has to lead to an exit," said Steve. "Do you know if this is dangerous?" said Steve. "I think so," said Albert. The right tunnel was the only path that didn't lead to a dead end. It led to another chamber, but not the exit. "Well, what do we do now? Because I think we're going to have to go all the way back to the entrance to make it an exit, and we don't even know where to go," said Albert, stressed out. "Don't be stressed out. All we have to do is find a place that has a big open space of sand and try to dig our way out," said Steve. After minutes of looking for an open space of sand, they found it. They began to dig and it led them to a big and pointy rock. "Now what? We dug up all this sand and it just led us to a big and pointy rock," yelled Albert.